Hi everyone, I sent you an email yesterday about these data drops that we're planning on doing after the Easter holidays. And I hope the process is somewhat clear, but I realise probably what I haven't explained is why we're doing it the way we're doing it, how come other schools are doing different things, etc. So I thought I'd just quickly give you an explanation of what we're trying to achieve by doing this. The first thing is probably a pure educational one, which is lots of you are going to go to university next year, and we simply want to make sure that we finish off courses so that you're ready to go to university. I get that your first question after that might well be, okay, why do we need to do a data drop? Can't we just finish the lessons? And I understand that. The main reason is probably best explained in the government wording that they've given us so far. There's a lot that we still don't know. Okay, so let me get a few myths out of the way. Are we doing exams that we're then going to be sending off to the government and that's going to be your grade? No, absolutely not. This is going to be a data drop. It's marked to A-level standard, and it's set in the same sort of format as an A-level question might be. So it's a way for us to justify the grade we're giving you. So another question might be, well, how come we can't just give a grade based on mocks, UCAS predictions and so on? I need to be really clear about this. We're not giving you your grade. We are estimating a grade or recommending a grade, but actually that grade can get moderated or changed. And one of the things that the government's been quite clear about is that they want to try and maintain what they call the normal distribution of A-level grades. So let me show you this. This is the last couple of years. This is national picture, percentages here, 0 to 30. This is how many people get A stars, A's, B's, C, D, E's and U's across the country. Okay, so you can see nationally somewhere around 7% get A stars, somewhere between 15 and 20% getting A's, etc. But, and this is the problem, what happens if every school in the country goes, okay, all our kids are going to get A's and A stars, so the national predictions are all up here somewhere, and nationally they're looking to give 30-40% A stars and A's because everybody's just given those grades. Clearly, what the government are going to have to do, or what Ofqual are going to have to do, is find a way to maintain this curve as a national picture. Doesn't mean they're going to do that within Reed School. Reed School's ones should look more like that, but they're going to try and nationally achieve a spread of grades that looks very much like this. You can see over the last 2 years it's been very, very similar. So what we're trying to guard against, and full disclosure, we don't know exactly how some of this is going to work, but what we feel is we don't want a situation where government turn around to us and say, well, how can you justify that person's A star, okay, here? We want to be able to say, here's how we do that. If we just gave out, let's say, UCAS predictions, the question we've got to ask ourselves is, do we have a piece of assessment that backs that up in the worst case if they turn around to us and say, well, you need to prove that in some way? So it's not a question of that you're going to sit and write these data drops and they're all going to be then packaged up and sent off like exams normally are. It's not about that at all. It's about our satisfaction, if you like, that if we get asked, well, you've given that person that grade, do you actually have a piece of assessment that proves it? We feel that we can then say, well, this is A-level standard work and this is what they've achieved. Other questions you might legitimately have. What if your mock grades, okay, and your mock is a bigger piece of assessment, what if your mock grades are great and you get worse in the data drop? That doesn't matter. That's not the end of the world, because it still means that we've got your mock grade. So that might lead you to another question, which is, well, if I'm really happy with my mocks, does that mean I don't have to do this? Well, the other thing that this allows us to do is it allows us to say to Ofqual, as an institution, yes, we have finished teaching all A-level courses, and yes, we did a piece of terminal assessment. But it means that when we submit our estimates, we can be really, really clear about, if you like, the quality control that's happened this end. So things that I would ask you to remember in working towards this are, one, this is not like an exam where whatever you get in this is going to end up being your grade. Two, the grade that we submit can still be changed, which is why we're trying to make our evidence as robust as possible. Three, There's a massive opportunity if your mocks weren't what you wanted, if you haven't quite hit where you want to get to yet, there is an opportunity now to do that. And finally, we hope we're doing this in the least stressful way possible. I get that with any kind of assessment comes a certain amount of stress, but what I would urge you to remember is you could have been revising 2 years worth of each of your courses and about to set out on a whole program of exams right now. You're not doing that. Okay, so that's what we're trying to achieve with this. Really, really don't want you to kind of get stressed about it. Don't want you to feel like it's the biggest exam of your lives. It's not about that at all. It's about an opportunity for you to hit a particular level. We're trying to make it as simple as straightforward as possible, but we're trying to balance that with some kind of exam type conditions, even though the assessment itself isn't an exam, it's a data drop, but doing it in kind of more controlled conditions so that we have the integrity of the data. So again, we can stand up as an institution and say, look, what we've submitted is something we've got faith in, and we don't want you to change our grades, and we don't think you should be in a position to particularly radically alter our grades. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I'm sure there might be other questions. Let us know as we go.